This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
When you think about some of the legendary games in Houston Astros franchise history, you probably think of, multiple no-hitters, Yordan Alvarez popping 3 home runs in a game, multiple playoff games with unbelievable moments like a Jeremy Pena home run in an 18th inning, Yordan walking it off, Yordan's big blast in a World Series, Game 2 of 2017 where Marwin ties it late, and Altuve and Correa give you a lead later, and then Springer ends up winning it for you. Think about all those kind of games. Of course, Game 5 of that World Series as well. And then right there in the mix, you add in the Jake Meyers game on May the 3rd, 2025 in Chicago against the White Sox. Yes, it was Jake Meyers' day, and Jake absolutely rakes as he powers the Astros to a victory today, driving in a whopping 7 of their 8 runs, tying the club record for total bases in a game of 13, tying Yordan Alvarez for that record, and putting himself in the history books, and almost in all of the history books if he could have gotten one more at bat and gotten himself a single, as he falls just a single shy of the cycle. 2 home runs, a triple, and a double, and the Astros bounce back in a beautiful way after yesterday's loss to the White Sox by a final today of 8-3, and getting now to 17-15 on the season. Hello and welcome today to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I am your host, Michael Connor. Appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching live. If you're watching later on, of course, thank you as well, as we're breaking down what we saw out there on the field today, including more on Jake Meyers, more on Hunter Brown. Rough start, turned it around quickly, and then the need of having to get a win tomorrow, because we've watched the team that the Astros are playing now for 2 consecutive days, and look, they're bad. They're really bad. And tomorrow is a big day as well that we'll preview a little bit, because somebody returns to the mound for the first time in 3 years, basically. It's pretty darn crazy. So a very fun day at the ballpark today. I didn't realize that the field there in Chicago, it was called Guaranteed Rate Field. I didn't know they dropped the guaranteed. It's just Rate Field now. They're bad. I'm a person that has been very lucky and been able to knock off a lot of ballparks in my life now. I think I've gotten to, I think it's 20 or 21 of the 30. That one, it's not the lowest on the list, but it's bottom 10 for sure. And if I get to all of them, I know it'll be bottom 10, but it's probably bottom 5. It's in a dumpy part of town, and there's just nothing special about it. The only good thing there is that the weather in Chicago is, usually pretty great compared to what we have to deal with here. I don't know. Today outside in Houston, it's fantastic. Soak it in while you got it. Soak in a day like this while you got it for the Astros going out there and doing their thing. And look, every once in a while, you're going to have one of these games where the bottom of your order goes out there and does it. And that's what the bottom of the order did for the Astros today. And praise to all of those guys. As I can go ahead and tell you that you will be able to guess what it is that you're going to be talking about from this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Do I need to repeat myself? I don't think so. Jake Meyers, 4 for 4, 7 runs batted in. But I think overall what you look at is that the bottom of the order today was tremendous. Meyers is 4 for 4 with the 7 runs batted in, like I mentioned. Some of those wouldn't have happened if DeCinzo and Rogers hadn't gotten on base ahead of him. Rogers gets on base twice, 1 for 3, but drew a walk. DeCinzo was 1 for 3. He drew a walk as well and drove in a run with the double, the only other run. So really those guys at the bottom of the order. And Victor Caratini, he kept it going there in that last time around where Jake Meyers eventually got back up to the plate, and he had a double as well. But that bottom of the order today really carried the team. They had 13 hits. Pena had a couple at the top. Altuve had 1. Paredes had 1. Christian Walker was – I am so disappointed by the Christian Walker signing. I just don't have a lot of faith at this point. We are into May, and he had an opportunity early in the game, a couple runners on, and just this guy was here right here to drive in runs, and it looks terrible. Yainer Diaz is continuing to look red hot. He should have had a 3-hit day if Benintendi didn't make an unbelievably great catch out there in left field on him there in his last at bat. But he went 2 for 5 today. And then, like I mentioned, you get 1, 2. Well, let's just go to the bottom 3, 7, 8, 9. You get 4, 5, 6 hits out of the bottom 3 of the order. Of course, again, 4 of them coming from Jake Meyers. And as I mentioned, 1 shy of the franchise record. I need to actually confirm that. I feel like that was did Yuli Gurriel tie that record or break that record? The J.R. Tolles record for runs batted in. It was J.R. Tolles forever. And for some reason now I'm doubting myself on this one. RBI record in a game. I know that Yuli had a game that was unbelievable. It is J.R. Tolles and Yuli. Yuli tied it. That's what it was. It was a day game. I do remember that vividly. So Yuli and J.R. Tolles with 8, the all-time record in franchise history. That's pretty darn cool. Cool for Jake to go and get, a day like this. And look, this is a guy that's a glove-first player. The Astros need him to be better at the plate than he was last year. We know that. He can't be just hot garbage, especially with this team, because this team is lacking in certain areas. But look at Jake so far this season. Now, look, his numbers get boosted today because he has a 4-hit day. He's still under 100 at-bats on the season. But so far, and again, 7 of his runs batted in 1 game. He only had 6 on the season coming into this one. But the numbers look really good. 295, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in, 337 on base. 780 OPS. I'm not asking Jake Meyers to be a 780 OPS guy all year, but if he gives me 725, I think you're in a winning spot with Jake Meyers this season because he's going to play a pretty darn good defense, and he's going to basically catch everything. He's not going to have he does not have the world's greatest arm in center field by any means. I would run on it all day if I was a third base coach, but what matters is that he covers so much ground out there in center field. They might be taken away from some of his playing time. We keep seeing about or hearing about they are, flirting with Cam Smith taking fly balls out there in center field before games and whatnot. And eventually, I think you're going to see him get some center field time in games as well. But when Jake plays, and that's the best defensive player that they have, and it's gravy when he goes out there and hits like he did today. Led the charge. And look, things felt bad early in this baseball game because Hunter Brown went out there, as we'll transition into Hunter Brown talk. Now, Hunter Brown came out and was just getting ripped left and right in that first inning. Gives up 3 runs in the first. And we've said this, I think it might have been last start or the start before with Hunter Brown. Now we all know that he is the ace of the staff for this Astros team. And he has transformed himself into the ace of the staff by going out there and doing things like he did today. I've mentioned it, and it's not just because they throw the same, because, of all the great pitchers that the Astros have had through the years, Garrett Cole was only a couple of years, but he did the same kind of things. But Verlander was here for so long. And you see Verlander do this too. And this is what the greats do. Look, you're susceptible to going out there and having a bad inning, having a rough time getting into a game. Maybe you're not, the weather there today was in the 50s, I believe. It's a little bit cooler, even though he's from Detroit. He's used to that. Just it's an earlier start after you were there last night. You're probably your body takes a minute and just didn't ease into the game. Maybe didn't have sometimes you don't have a great bullpen session to get the thing going, and you come out and you just can't find it. And he couldn't necessarily find it. He was getting hit hard there in that first inning. But what an ace of a staff does is they wash it immediately. And that was exactly what Hunter Brown did today. He went out there and threw 5 shutout after that. And that gives me even more confidence that I already believe that everything was real that we're seeing from Hunter Brown, because it is real. But it's going to the next level. When you can have an inning like that, a blow-up inning, and then just immediately shut it down. He was awesome. Swing and miss picked up. I think he's really starting to turn into that guy too, like Verlander and those greats do, is that when they know that they are at the end of the line of the day, he gets into that 6th inning and he starts reaching back and getting more. And he goes and strikes out the side. He finishes with 3 straight strikeouts to end the baseball game, or his day, I should say. This is after watching Fromber last night. I know that we didn't do a show last night. I was doing Rockets instead. Fromber, did not do any of that like Hunter Brown did today. Fromber gets frazzled. And I think there's a lingering thing with Fromber this year is that free agency is coming up. The Astros did not do anything to negotiate a contract with him, and the peace of mind for a guy who's already fragile upstairs is probably not all there. And he is letting it completely slip by his side of being the Astros' best pitcher. It's Hunter Brown. That's what he did again today for the Astros. He goes out there, gives you 6 strong, like I mentioned. Did walk some guys, 3 walks in the game, but picks up 5th win of the season. ERA goes to 167, 6 innings, 3 runs. You just go through all of his starts this season. That's what he does. Just goes out there and gives you a chance to win every single time that he takes the ball. And honestly, every time that he takes the ball, I expect the Astros to win. Every single time. Real quick, his start. 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 of them earned in his first. And he went 6, 2 runs. 6, shutout. 6, shutout. 7, shutout. 6, 1. 6, 3. The guy's electric. And I know that there's some great pitchers in the American League. I think he's going to win the Cy Young this year. I really do. I think we are watching a guy that is lining up to have the biggest of breakout seasons. And yeah, we'll talk about it later because you're going to be sitting there kicking yourself. Once again, you let a player slide by and not getting him an extension when you should have. That's not the theme of the show today, but I will always mention it because it is frustrating, especially when they tell you to your face that they're going to do the things like that, and then they literally never do. And they're not getting him signed now. Just telling you, it's not happening. He will be a free agent one day and make a ton of money elsewhere. You got him for another 3 years after this year. That's okay. We'll worry about that again another time. Tomorrow is a big day. Let's talk about tomorrow. Needing the game and the guy that's going to take the ball. That's next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to go. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports, College Football 25, to Call of Duty, and easily as easily as you stream your favorite shows. What if you could jump into your favorite Xbox titles without needing your console in every room? How awesome would that be? It'd be fantastic. You just sit there and play them in your living room, your kitchen, whatever it might be that you have that TV set up at. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and then Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Astros take down the White Sox today behind Jake Meyers' best game of his career. I'm sorry to Jake. I'm going to go ahead and I would put money on it. That will be Jake Meyers' best game of his career. I don't have a problem being wrong. It'd be a great thing. Be awesome. Man, that was awesome. Absolutely awesome that he went out there and did that today. What else was awesome was that Hunter Brown did his thing again. And the Astros went out there and, got another win when they needed it. Stayed above 500, 17-15 now in the season. Tomorrow, they are going to take on the White Sox once again in a 1:10 first pitch, which again, after the game tomorrow, yes, we will be live with a show tomorrow as soon as the game wraps up here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. It'll be a busy day for me tomorrow. So again, if you're looking for me twice in your life in one day, you will get it. Astros, when that one wraps up, probably about the same time as today. And then later on tomorrow night, over on the Locked On Sports Houston YouTube page, make sure you go over there and hit subscribe. Again, search Locked On Sports Houston. You will find the Locked On Sports Houston YouTube page. Subscribe to that. That is where the Rockets postcast tomorrow will be after Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors, and hopefully a victory extending their season into the second round in the NBA playoffs. Tomorrow is a significant day. Lance McCullers Jr. makes his first start on the mound since the World Series in 2022. Now, he started, of course, spring training games, and he started in the minor leagues. Well, I was blanking on the word. In the minors, in his work down there with Sugarland and Corpus. Made a total of 4 starts in his rehab. Was good overall. A total of 12 2/3 innings and 4 earned runs allowed. So an ERA of 2.84 in his 12 2/3 with 16 strikeouts across the 2 levels. 2 at Sugarland, 2 at Corpus. It's hard to believe, though, it's been all that time since he's pitched. When he pitched in 2022, I think people forget when he came back there. Of course, he was injured that year. Really, the last 2 times that we saw him on the mound, season-wise, 2021, he was tremendous for the Astros that year. And he was tremendous in the start there in Chicago. I was there in the playoffs. And then he just left the game and he was hurt. And then he was gone all next year. And then he came back at the end of the year and he was excellent. He was 8 starts, 4-2 with a 227 when he came back. And then he went into the postseason. And I think one of the things we forget about that series against Seattle is that in that game 3, the 18-inning game, which was the longest day of my life, but also the coolest day of my life, he was tremendous in that game. And he matched who pitched for the dang Mariners in that one? Was it George Kirby, I believe, pitched in that one? They both were trading zeros all day. McCullers was 6 innings of shutout ball. He was tremendous in that baseball game. And he only allowed 4 guys to reach base across 6 innings in that game. And of course, it ended up going all the way to 18 innings as the Astros got the home run from Jeremy Pena to win. It was George Kirby that pitched for the Mariners that day. And he was just as good as McCullers was. 7 innings of shutout ball for him. But he traded zeros with him all day long. And, he was okay in the start overall against the Yankees in the ALCS. Gave up 4 runs, but 3 of them were earned. And then he was horrible. He set a World Series record the game against the Phillies, giving up 5 home runs. I was at all 3 of those games. That one in Philadelphia was tough to watch in person. It was just like rocket after rocket against him. Now he's back. And I'm hopeful for him because, he was a really good pitcher. And they could absolutely benefit from having another guy out there like this. I don't know how much he's going to do work-wise, 4 or 5 innings tomorrow, I'd imagine. It's a good landing spot, I think, against a team it's not very great here. But I think overall, you're probably going to get a guy that's coming back. He's so hungry. It's been so long. As long as his arm stays together, that's always been the thing. Is as long as Lance is healthy, if he's healthy, he's going to be good. And I'm hoping for him that tomorrow goes well. It's been a long time coming. Again, after the game tomorrow, we'll talk about it. It will hopefully be a win. Maybe Jake Meyers wants to do it again at the plate tomorrow. Sign me up. Hopefully Jordan's hand isn't so bad. Maybe he can get back in the lineup tomorrow. I don't think he will, but we'll see. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Go out and, again, enjoy the fantastic early May weather that we're having. That's what I'm about to do. We'll talk again tomorrow afternoon on the Locked On Astros